Hi, Miss Reni. We're happy to have you here with us today. I know we're going to learn a lot about herbs, but before we get started, you are the president of the Memphis Herb Society, so thank you again for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, great, great. Look, first question, what is an herb?
Well, an herb is a useful plant. So that really expands the definition of herb that perhaps our grandparents knew, right? So you might do something that is fragrant, that might be useful as a pollinator,
Okay.
medicinal, as a food source, industrial, and right now like hemp, that's a medicinal herb, or hops for beer. So all those are considered herbs.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow. Now let's talk about some of the popular herbs that people like to grow now. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. I don't think people should be afraid of herbs.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
They really shouldn't. You try and you try again,
Okay.
right?
Right. I agree.
So
I agree.
one of the first things is parsley. And I love parsley. I really do. But as you notice, I brought a flat leaf, Italian flat leaf, which is different from the curly. And the flat leaf is easier to grow than the curly parsley. Personally, I let mine bolt. And my seeds were originally from Italy, from a region of Venice. So it's humid there. It's hot there. And parsley does tend to bolt. It's a semi-annual. So you actually would throw seeds out every year. And when it bolts, I let it go to seed. And then the seeds fall wherever. So I might have parsley in my walkways, in this bed or that bed, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
And you're fine with that. Good for you.
Perfectly
Good
happy.
for you.
Yeah. So that would be the first one.
Okay.
There are very few things that really attack. Now the one thing that loves to eat it is the swallowtail caterpillar. But I'm glad for that. You know, I don't mind. My whole yard is pollinator friendly because I have beehives in the back.
Okay.
I have 3 hives. So I like everything to bloom. And I'll let kale go to bloom, bok choy go to bloom. You know, everything goes wild. And then when it comes time for the tomatoes, I'm afraid they have to go. And I do the same thing with the other herb that's over here, which is dill. Now, a lot of people like dill, and it really is a wonderful herb for fish, or a vinaigrette, or any type of sauce. It doesn't do very well in the Mid-South because it's hot here, and it doesn't rain enough, you know, during the summer months, so it tends to bolt, but that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, so you put out the seed again in the fall for a fall harvest, or in this early spring. So when you see a pot like this at the nursery, it's probably not going to do much for you in May and June. The season is over. But still, it's fun to grow and watch bolt.
Okay.
And again, when mine bolts, the seeds go everywhere. And I have them growing right now, every size, small to tall, and it's growing in between the cracks of the concrete everywhere because it's acclimated to my little microclimate.
Gotcha.
Which is nice. Same thing for the parsley. So I save the parsley seed and I share it. Same with the dill. I save and I share it. So those are some fun things. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Let it bolt. Let it go, right?
It is.
Let it go. All right. What else do you have for us?
Yeah. The other easy thing to grow.
Easy, okay.
Yeah, easy. Well, these are easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
I think they're easy.
I think so.
Are chives.
Uh-huh.
So these are normal chives, and they give that lovely light onion taste. Now, when we talk about diseases and things, we don't have a monoculture in our herb garden. Everything's interspersed with vegetables and other herbs. So it's not like you have 1 acre of parsley that you're cutting for the market. You know, you don't have that issue. Now, sometimes you may have onion maggots that get in there. Maybe sometimes slugs for the parsley, slugs for the dill. You can go ahead and, if it's maggots, you get rid of it. You know, just take it out, replant. Do something new, new spot. And we have one more. This is the favorite.
That's the favorite for everybody, right?
That's basil, and this is sweet basil.
Okay.
And this is new for me in my life. I didn't have that as a child in our gardens. So coming to Memphis and getting acquainted with basil was awesome.
Because everybody grows it here. for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah. And so there are so many different kinds that are just a delight to the palate. Now, all of these things do well as companion plants.
Ah, that's what I asked you about that.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So we were working the plant sale at the Memphis Botanic Garden, and so when people went out with a tomato, well, where was their
Grab the
basil?
Right.
It has to go in between because it's fragrant and it sort of captures all sorts of flying insects. And
Yeah.
with all these different type of herbs around, you're discouraging insect infestation because there's so many smells for these insects to go to.
Wow.
They kind of wonder, where's the tomato, right? And those should be, you know, tomato hornworms should be handpicked anyway.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So another type of chive is this, and I only have a little tiny sample, and that's a garlic chive. Now, if you plant this, you have a good chance that it'll take over. So that means easy.
I have planted those. Yes.
Yes?
It has taken over.
Do you like it?
I like it. It's
I
fun.
do too.
It's fun.
I like especially the flowers because they're so tasty in a salad. Very white, delicate, lovely flowers. Same thing with the regular chive. That makes a beautiful purple flower or pink flower, and you can pick that apart to put in your salads. I mean, it's just a culinary delight to add such things.
Okay. Which one of these will grow best in the window?
Oh my, basil.
Basil. Okay.
Basil is very thankful, yes.
It's very thankful. I like that. So it grows well in the window.
Yes, and most of these herbs prefer good soil,
Okay.
good watering, but they do not like to stand in water.
Right. So good drainage.
Good drainage, yes. And the ones that do not do well with that are rosemary.
Okay.
It likes a rocky soil
Okay.
and extra good drainage.
Extra.
Yeah, so I put pea gravel in with my soil when I have sage or lavender.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background with herbs?
Well, sure. I was born in Austria
Okay.
and spent many years there as a child in a small village, a farming village. And so every householder in that village, the ladies would have a kitchen garden that would have in it parsley, dill, also chives, and lovage. And they used these things to season their food because there wasn't really a lot of money for cinnamon, cloves, or curry was unknown. So those types of things were saved for Christmases, Easter, special events.
Yeah, special. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that gave me a great respect for herbs. And then I also had 3 ladies in my family, 2 aunts and a grandmother who had restaurants. And so they would be very aware of what was useful. If they were making spinach and they were a bit short, they would send out a helper to go cut nettles, and that was added in. And that's a very, very healthful herb to add to spinach. Or perhaps if they were making a potato salad, they would cut dandelion greens, and that would be chopped very, very fine into the potato salad. So everything was useful and made life actually very interesting,
Wow.
you know?
Thank you much for
I
sharing a little
love
bit of your history
sharing
as
that.
well. So we definitely do appreciate that. So thank you
Yeah,
again.
thank you.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.